Welcome to the 9 Lessons of Mastery to Live a More Excellent Life. I am J. Loren Norris, author of Live a More Excellent Life, creator of the 9 Lessons of Mastery to Live a More Excellent Life, and insuperable.org. So glad to have you on this journey with me. Today, you will learn to master your reflection. Our tool today is a head of lettuce. Wilson! You might remember from the movie with Tom Hanks several years ago now that he built a relationship with a volleyball because he was stranded on a desert island after a plane crash, and it was pretty much the only thing he could find that looked like a human head. It had a handprint, a bloody handprint right there on it. And it also had the name carved right into it, Wilson, because it was a Wilson volleyball. Now, why would I bring that up, and what in the world does that have to do with lessons of mastery? Here's what it has to do with lessons of mastery. We all need a sounding board. That is the topic of this lesson. The main point is vocalizing the idea that we have for the future helps us to gain clarity. Sharing that with others can provide insights through feedback as well as new ideas and solutions. It relates to your vision because clarity comes from repeated focus. Inner clarity comes from repeatedly looking inside our own thoughts and feelings to discover our hurts and joys. This audio file is called Wilson! Come now, let us reason together with me. Now, I'm sure one of the things you're asking yourself is, why a head of lettuce? So let me just clear that up right up front. A volleyball is about $15, and people tend to steal them if you leave them out in the open. Also, people might really look at you funny if you're talking to a volleyball. That might be something you have a tendency to, say, throw in your backpack or carry around in your car. You keep it around for a long time. And like many things, it just becomes so familiar that you kind of forget about it. A head of lettuce, on the other hand, has some different qualities, let's say. One is it's perishable. And by perishable, I mean you don't throw it in the back seat and keep it around for a couple of days. That would be nasty. It's also perishable in that a volleyball, while someone may be willing to steal it, a head of lettuce, no one's going to want to steal that from you. Well, I take that back. I do know a young man that I met in jail many years ago who was there for stealing a head of lettuce, and he got caught in the process. That was an expensive an expensive head of lettuce. Average head of lettuce about $1.25, maybe $1.50, depending on where you buy it, and whether you buy the round iceberg lettuce in the cellophane package. That's what I recommend for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's shaped a lot more like a volleyball, so you can kind of handle it. It's just the same size as a head, so if you're talking to it and you decide to smack it, you can just punch it right square. With a green leafy lettuce, it doesn't work as well. So a head of iceberg lettuce is what we're talking about, a head of lettuce. Leave it in the plastic, so if you do punch it around a bit, no harm, no foul. When you're done, you can take that head of lettuce after you've abused it sufficiently, throw it in a bowl, cover it in some ranch dressing. While it's swimming, you just call it dinner and eat it away. Okay, all joking aside, though, seriously, here's what I want you to do. And it may be a head of lettuce. It may be that little stuffed pig on your bookshelf. It may be a volleyball, for all I know. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to find some inanimate object. And I am adamant at this point that it's an inanimate object for this reason. We tend as human beings to want to vent our frustrations to the people that we care about the most. Friends, that's not good psychology sometimes. That's very dangerous to your relationship. If someone said something to you, and your reflection of yourself is that people always hate me, you assume that what they said to you is meant in hate. You assume that they're saying to you what you would say to them, stranger or great friend or otherwise. Here's the danger in that. Your reaction to them, as you reflect that back to them, is going to be negative and hate-filled. You may assume that they said something to you that they didn't even say. You took it completely differently than they meant it. Now you have a damaged relationship. You might turn to him and say, Jim, I can't believe you said that to me like that. And Jim's like, no, that's not what I meant. But see, now you've offended them and you've taken offense yourself, and it's really not even necessary. Because 9 times out of 10, and we find this in coaching, as I coach people, there are so many times that I'll ask a question, and as they're kind of mulling over the answer to that question and digging through that question, the client will often find that they already have the answer. They've just never vocalized it. They've never really said it out loud and allowed themselves to hear themselves saying it. See, when I say something to you, it's easy to dismiss. When a friend says something to you, it may be a little less easy to dismiss because they're a close friend. When a spouse says something, it may not be easy to dismiss at all. You may have to really push hard to bottle that up and not take it for what it's meant. And especially if it's a hard lesson. You've ever heard the old adage about an addict? They're always in denial. Addicts don't have a problem until they're willing to admit they have a problem, because while they may be addicted to some substance or some habit, they have no intentions of getting over it, because they have yet to have reached the crisis moment of observation and awareness where they look at that habit and they go, man, this is killing me. This is kicking my butt every time, and I've got to do something about it. See, the head of lettuce doesn't care. When you turn to your head of lettuce and you go, man, I really got a problem with pecan pie. I got to do something about that. And I look in the mirror and I see me, and I don't like the me that I see. And something's got to give. Something's got to change. Now, if you were to say that to a coworker, you may find that you've got weeks, days, months of agony to follow. If you were to say that to a family member, you may get one of two extremes. You may get the judgment that says, dude, you've been fat for a long time. You should have done something about that a long time ago. And you may get the dismissive. Oh, no, it's not that bad. Who cares that your blood pressure is off the charts, your blood sugar is unreadable, the constant migraines and headaches that you have, the fact that your clothes don't fit, and that's costing you money because you can't get the job that you want because the appearance that you have is required to be at the best level to engage with the customer where you need to. Do you see where I'm going with all that? See, the head of lettuce doesn't care. Head of lettuce waits for you to come to those revelations on your own. Head of lettuce listens without judgment. But having that something, that head of lettuce, that stuffed pig, that whatever it is, to whom you can scream at the top of your lungs and weep until your heart is content and have no risk of damaging a relationship, that is a key aspect in your mental health. It is a key opportunity for you to fill your journal with thoughts that you have suppressed in your mind and in your life and in your heart for so long that they're eating you up inside. Now, don't just take your head of lettuce as being the negative nanny. It's not just about the bad things, the bad feelings, the revelations, the observations that you bring, the awareness that comes to you about what could have been, what should have been, what I've done. Head of lettuce also wants to hear what you will do. And again, without judgment. If I turned to my wife and said, I'm going to lose 20 pounds by Christmas, she might look at me and go, yeah, like you did last year. Right. And the year before, oh, right, you didn't. And the year before, oh, yeah, you didn't. But see, making that verbal commitment to me and out loud allows me to hear it. When I say it inside my head, I can dismiss it as easily as I could if I heard it from somebody else. But when I hear those words coming out of my own mouth, when you hear those words coming out of your own mouth as you say them to your head of lettuce, it's a declaration that the world can't stop. I will lose 20 pounds before Christmas. I will be in the best shape of my life within the next year. I will buy that car within 5 years. I will be out of debt in the next 24 months. Whatever that declaration is, whatever that vision is, share that vision. Share it verbally, share it out loud. And when you've nailed it, when you've got it so down that you could write a song like Paint Me a Birmingham with your vision, with your affirmations, with your declarations of your own life, then take them to someone else. Then take them to a dear friend and say, you know what? I want you to hold me accountable for this because I am so clear that that's where I'm going with my life. I want somebody else not only to remind me on the journey when I get sidetracked, distracted, or face an obstacle, but I want someone there to enjoy it with me. When I cut the red ribbon on the front of that brand new house, I want you standing there beside me. When I drive off in that car for the very first time and park it as I go into lunch, I want you to be in the passenger seat. Share that opportunity for growth with someone else. But first, get clear on it yourself. Reflect on the things that you've thought, that you've heard, that you've felt all your life. Allow those things to come up from deep within you. Write them down. All of those thoughts that you hear. See, people miss the fact that we think a thought almost 1,000 times faster and more often than we say a word. It's easy to let them go. It's easy to let them slip by. But having a reflection opportunity, having that chance to voice your thoughts, to vent your frustrations, to speak out your dreams where no one's going to judge you or laugh at you, is a chance to put them out there and say, I want to be an inventor. I'm going to invent the next donut hole. And then laugh hysterically as you realize how silly it sounds. I mean, we've already invented donut holes. We don't need them anymore. But maybe there's something else. Maybe there's something in you that the words just haven't come together yet, but opening your mouth and letting it flow. Record it on your phone. Record it on a little MP3 device. Record it in your journal. And go back and look at it months, weeks, years from now. And you'll find that the time that you've taken to reflect, to express verbally what you think and feel on the inside, will be an expression of you that you've never seen before. Don't take time to judge it. Don't take time to listen to it as you're saying it. Just get it out. Just let it flow. And then come back later and look for those golden nuggets, the brilliance that is you on the inside, trying to get out. And let you find you. Let you see you for real. Not the you that the world has told you you are, but who you really, really are. Don't bottle things up. Let them out. Let them free. And don't dump them on other people. Now, let me throw in one other word of caution. I did say I'm adamant about it being an inanimate object. Two things to keep in mind there. By inanimate, I mean not living at all. I don't know all the research and studies behind it, but I've heard that people that talk to plants in a negative way kill their plants, and people that talk to plants in a positive way make them live better. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can tell you this for a fact. I have 3 dogs, and all 3 of my dogs respond significantly to my tone of voice. They know when I'm mad. They know when I'm angry. They know when I'm sad. They know when I'm hurt. They know when I'm happy. Inanimate means no living feelings, no emotions, no way to react. However, last word of caution, refrain from making that a shopping cart or a street light or a lamppost, because people will talk about people who talk to inanimate objects in public. Keep it at home. Best thing, if you've got a giant pasture, like we live in this wild nature reserve, I could probably stand in my backyard and scream at the top of my lungs, and the 3 neighbors that could actually hear me couldn't care less. And in fact, if they're not outside on their porch, they still wouldn't hear me because they're so far away. Don't go in the middle of downtown and stand on the street corner and vent your expressions. Someone will help you. They will find a nice place for you to live in a white padded room. But don't hold it in. Don't hold in your dreams. Don't hold in your visions. Don't hold in your highest hopes and aspirations. When you see that future that you want for your life, say it. Speak it out. The words coming out of your mouth have more power in this world than you could ever possibly imagine. That's a whole nother lesson that's outside the realm of this book, but I recommend The Power of Words by Robert Morris, if you get a chance to pick that up. That's a great book. Let those things that eat you up on the inside and those things that charge you up on the inside, let them roll off your tongue. Listen to them as you hear them. Speak them out there, and then destroy the ones that are destroying you, and elevate and focus on and spend more time and more attention and more emotion on the ones that light you up, that just set you on fire. Whatever you do, do not settle for the life you were handed. Live a more excellent life.